A giant, 3 powerful engines, capable of crossing oceans and carrying hundreds of passengers, one of the most recognizable aircraft of its era. Yet burned with a difficult reputation, marked by terrible accidents, design controversies, and a commercial battle that ultimately sealed its fate. Today, we will talk about the DC-10. To understand the story of this iconic aircraft, one that I must admit is one of my personal favorites, we need to go back to the late 1960s. The world was changing rapidly, driven by the Beatles, the hippie movement, and the race to space. At the same time, commercial aviation was entering its first golden age.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take off.
Boeing 707s and Douglas DC-8 filled the skies with passengers, smoke, and glamour, while the iconic Boeing 747 promised to carry hundreds of passengers anywhere on the planet. In this fast-moving world, Boeing was clearly ahead. The 747 was already deep into development, and the 707 dominated global sales. However, a new concept was gaining momentum across the industry: the wide-body aircraft, airplanes with 2 aisles. And this is where a newly formed company entered the scene, born from the merger of McDonnell Aircraft Corporation and Douglas Aircraft Company, McDonnell Douglas. At the time, American Airlines was searching for a new wide-body aircraft, smaller than the Boeing 747, yet similar in range. The goal was to operate from shorter runways and serve routes with lower passenger density. The market potential was enormous, especially considering low fuel prices and a still regulated airline industry, where air travel was expensive and competition between airlines remained limited. This vision gave birth to the DC-10, a wide-body trijet equipped with General Electric CF6 turbofan engines, 2 mounted under the wings and a third installed at the rear of the fuselage, integrated into the base of the vertical stabilizer. The aircraft featured 8 doors, allowing for faster boarding and ground operations, and could carry between 240 and 340 passengers, depending on configuration. It was smaller than the 747, but significantly larger than the DC-8 and the Boeing 707. Initially, 2 versions were launched: the DC-10 Series 10 with a range of approximately 4,000 miles and the DC-10 Series 30, a heavier, long-range version designed for transoceanic flights, offering a range close to 7,000 miles. Orders came quickly. American Airlines became the launch customer with an order for 25 DC-10 Series 10 aircraft, and United Airlines followed with an order for 30 aircraft plus option for 30 more. But not everything was going according to plan. The third major US aircraft manufacturer, Lockheed, was developing the sleek and highly advanced L-1011 TriStar, an aircraft very similar to the DC-10, but technologically far superior. Both airplanes target the same airlines, triggering an intense race in sales and production. Whoever enters service first would likely secure victory. The L-1011, being more innovative, suffered major delays, something we'll explore in a future Air Stories episode. Meanwhile, the DC-10, with its more conservative design, progressed faster. But internally, McDonnell Douglas engineers faced immense pressure to beat Lockheed into service, a pressure that will eventually come at a very high cost. On August 19, 1970, the DC-10 prototype took the skies for the first time, completing a successful maiden flight and beginning its certification test program. But trouble soon emerged. During a ground pressurization test, the rear cargo door failed, causing an explosive decompression that partially collapsed the passenger cabin floor. McDonnell Douglas implemented only minor modifications, failing to address the root design flaw, a decision that would later prove catastrophic. On August 5, 1971, American Airlines operated the first commercial DC-10 flight,
presenting an American dream, introducing the new DC-10 luxury liner.
On the Los Angeles-Chicago-Los Angeles route, officially introducing the trijet into service, nearly 6 months before the L-1011. At McDonnell Douglas, celebrations followed. They had beaten Lockheed. but warning signs appeared quickly. On July 12, 1972, less than a year into service, an American Airlines DC-10 operating Flight 96 suffered a rear cargo door failure shortly after departure on the final segment from Buffalo to New York JFK. The explosive decompression caused the rear cabin floor to collapse, injuring 9 passengers and 2 flight attendants. Investigators discovered that the door locking mechanism had not been properly secured. Unlike conventional Loctite doors, the DC-10 cargo doors opened outward to maximize cargo space. To compensate, McDonnell Douglas designed a locking system to prevent in-flight opening. However, the system had design flaws and provided no clear indication either to ground crews or pilots that the door was not properly closed. The NTSB recommended a complete redesign. Instead, a so-called gentleman's agreement between McDonnell Douglas and the FAA Administrator John Schaffer resulted in a non-mandatory modifications and procedural recommendations. Some airlines complied, others did not. On March 3, 1974, a Turkish Airlines DC-10 departed Paris Orly Airport bound for London Heathrow. At 22,000 feet, the rear left cargo door failed once again. This time, the decompression was far more violent. The cabin floor collapsed and 6 passengers were ejected from the aircraft, and critical hydraulic and control systems, along with the center engine, were destroyed. The crew lost all control. All 346 people on board were killed, making it the deadliest aviation accident in history at the time. The cause was identical, an improperly secured cargo door with no warning to the crew. This tragedy forced the complete redesign of the DC-10 cargo door system, but the damage to lives and to the aircraft reputation was already done. In 1979, disaster struck again. American Airlines Flight 191, a DC-10 departing Chicago O'Hare for Los Angeles, crashed seconds after takeoff when its left engine separated, causing catastrophic damage to aircraft systems. All 271 people on board were killed. The DC-10 fleet was grounded worldwide. However, investigators soon confirmed that the cause was not a design flaw, but an improper maintenance procedure that had induced structural fatigue. The aircraft itself was cleared. Tragically, later that same year, another DC-10 accident occurred. On November 28, 1979, Air New Zealand Flight 901, a DC-10 Series 30 on a sightseeing flight over Antarctica, struck Mount Erebus. 237 passengers and 20 crew members lost their lives. The accident resulted from a combination of human factors, navigational errors, and spatial disorientation in whiteout conditions. Neither of these 2 accidents was related to the DC-10's design. Despite this, the aircraft never escaped its reputation. Yet statistically and operationally, the DC-10 proved to be efficient, comfortable, and safe when its early issues were resolved. Commercially, the DC-10 was really a success. Hundreds were built across the Series 10, 20, and 40 variants, with the Series 10 and 30 proving the most popular. The aircraft operate on all 5 continents and remain in passenger service well into the early 2000s, notably with Japan Airlines on high-density routes between Japan and Hawaii. As with all iconic aircraft, replacement was inevitable. In 1986, McDonnell Douglas introduced the MD-11, a more advanced and efficient evolution of the DC-10, featuring winglets, new engines, greater range, and a 2-pilot cockpit. But its fate was sealed. The rise of twin-engine wide-bodies like the Boeing 767 and the 777 rendered tri-jets inefficient and costly. The failure of the MD-11 contributed to McDonnell Douglas being absorbed by Boeing in 1997. Though marked by tragedy, the DC-10 left a powerful legacy. It enables countless airlines to enter the long-haul market and help define the wide-body aircraft we know today. Was the DC-10 a failure? No, quite the opposite. It was a success, a witness to aviation's golden age of innovation and ambition, a controversial aircraft hated by some, loved by others. Those of us who flew on it remember the rough power of its engines, the deafening roar of the tail engine in the rear rows, and its unmistakable silhouette. So tell us, did you ever fly on a DC-10? Do you think it deserves its bad reputation or was unfairly judged? Let us know in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It'll help us more than you know.